Yes, well, for the past, this will be the third month that I've been giving council a special revenue report because of the COVID-19 um, possible lack of revenue, more than possible, but most likely lack of revenue that everybody across the state, every municipality and city is going to be experiencing. And, but before we even get started with that, to answer the question of one of our people putting in a question, the way we have reduced expenses, as the mayor had alluded to before, is we have laid off close to, or furloughed close to 40 people in the library and the senior citizen center, full and part-time, and we have reduced expenses that way. One thing you have to remember, we have a $35 million budget, and approximately $24 million of that is fixed cost. Most of that, as in any organization, is salaries or benefits. Now, hopefully, as we move along here, we will not have to furlough any more people, but nobody knows what the future will hold. But the biggest way that we have reduced costs is not showing up in the general fund budget, but is in capital. We have put the whole 5-year capital improvement program on hold. We started that in January, and because of the pandemic, we have put it on hold. We have tried to keep our capital expenditures to a minimum. Now, some people may say, well, we've paved roads. Yes, we have paved roads. And that is a prudent thing to do, because if you let roads go, they will become more expensive. And that is something the council decided to do 2 months ago. Not only that, because oil prices, which relates to asphalt, were so low, it's better to do it now than a year or two when prices most likely will go up. So that's basically the overview with respect to expenses and how we have reduced expenses through capital. What we want to do, just to add to that, is we want to keep our fund balance, which has been good over the last 2-3 years. We want to keep that very healthy. Now, we spent a lot of money in 2019 on capital, but we still want to keep the capital there in case we need it as a rainy day fund. All right, now, as far as the report, I have given this to council. This will be the third month, and everybody can see that. I assume it's on the screen share. And as I can point out, and I'll have a bar chart coming up on this, our real estate taxes coming in the current, we're only down 4.38%. That is depending on how the collection goes. So that is really not material, at least at this point. Most, if not all, the real estate tax collection, 96, 97% should be collected by the end of this month. Where we want to focus here is current business tax right here and mercantile tax. As you can see, there is a mercantile tax here. We are $876,000 we have not collected, and $924,000 we have not collected. Now, as council knows and the public knows, we have extended the date from April 15th to July 15th, commensurate with the federal and state, that businesses have to pay their mercantile and business privilege tax respectively. So we don't know what we're going to take in now. Now, the tax office says a lot of the business and mercantile tax is coming in. We will know more in the August meeting at the end of July on how much that has come in. Another tax that we have to be looking at, which surprisingly has not gone down as much as we thought, at least at this point, is the wage tax right here, the EIT, Earned Income Tax. That's only down close to 3%. So that is a bright spot, that it hasn't gone down as much. Coming down here to the regional asset tax, the RAD tax, that has gone down, but quite frankly, it hasn't gone down as much. Going on to the second page, building permits, as you would well think, that has gone down tremendously, 65%, and in absolute numbers, it's $63,000. Occupancy permits have gone down, and this is reflecting what we were not doing in the latter part of March and what we were not doing in April and in May. But if you come down all the way to the bottom here, we are short so far $2.4 million, close to 2.5. The large part of that, as I said, is because of the business tax and the mercantile tax. That makes up the lion's share of that, why we are low right here in revenue. As we move along, we're keeping an eye on these, and as I have told council and I've mentioned it publicly, at the end of the third quarter is really going to start telling the tale on if we have a real significant dearth in revenue. So that is the, and I have that also in a bar chart that I am going to pull up here in 1 second here. Now I've given this bar chart to council each month, and these reflect exactly what I had just mentioned with the absolute numbers. It gives more of a snapshot. And as you can see, the building permits are kind of small because they are a lesser amount of a $35 million budget. But as you come down here with the earned income tax, again, I thought we'd be, you know, back down around 3 million or something like that at this point. We're not. Local services tax, which is the $52 that everybody pays, usually at the beginning of the year in the first quarter, that's been holding steady. And again, you can see the business tax and you can see the mercantile tax, how they are much lower because we extended the due date to July 15th. Real estate tax is down a little bit, but that could just be because of collections on when collections take place. So unless anybody has any questions on those specific revenue items, or for Josie, since Josie is here, does anybody have any questions on those?
Council, any questions?
None for me. I'd just like to say thank you for doing a good job on that too.
Okay, well, Josie's the one that's put those.
And Josie too.
Yeah, Josie, she's the one, you can thank Josie on that.
Yeah.
Great job, Josie.
Good job, Josie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Josie, great job.